All right, good morning, everybody, and the Star Saver here once again. Today we're here to take a look at the Emperor's Demise. Hopefully, people enjoyed their heroic AT run this morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the video that gives an instruction about how to do the actual solo, but you can look forward to that somewhere in the future. But I know some people are struggling with this particular Emperor's Demise event. So today I'm going to show you some ideas maybe to help you get through here, because it's not a super easy event, but there are options that are available to you. Now, first of all, we're going to go straight into the event. Now, where most people I'm sure are struggling is at the tier 3 level. A lot of options, a lot of RNG can come into play, and really it's up to you what you want to use. The problem is Emperor Palpatine is locked in a supporting slot, and literally when you're doing this, you're looking at your best character to have as a leader option available, relegated solely to a backup spot. So you're going to have to work around that. Not the end of the world. You've got options. It's just a question of which one you want to do it with. I don't know exactly what people prefer and what people's rosters look like across the board. I have a general idea just looking at some of the reviews, but here are some ideas. Now, one thing to keep in consideration here is troops can be very effective in support of this role. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put General Veers. And remember, although General Veers is specifically suited to helping other Imperial troopers, Empire always still get the 30% offense from his leadership. So that's something to keep in consideration. Now, for this, I'm going to go ahead and try Darth Vader, see how we do with that. Now, when you do General Veers, Colonel Stark's typically his wingman. So he'd be a good choice there. And one tank you almost always want to have available is the Shore Trooper. Now, because of the gear constraints of Colonel Stark and the Shore Trooper, I can't use some of my best mods on those two characters. I'm relegated specifically to modding General Veers, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Vader. So what I've done is I've given General Veers my Revan set. I've given Emperor Palpatine my Bastila Shan, and my Darth Vader my Hermit Yoda set. So they'll be relatively wicked fast as they do this. But we're going to see how it operates. Sometimes this event, you can have RNG come into play. It's undeniable. We'll just see how we do here and see if this works out okay. So as you can see, the big constraint of this event is, despite all that speed I just added, you've got a lot of these things going first. And Chewie's sitting there in the back with a taunt up. So my options are extremely limited right now. I'm going to go ahead and just hit him with that. See if that helps us any. Now the taunt is gone, so maybe we can move to someone else. My suggestion at this point is typically Wedge. Once he's out of the picture, you get Biggs no longer can hit you with a triple whack. Okay, we're doing okay here, not the greatest, but we do have a ability to use Darth Vader here, and that might accelerate things quite a bit. Okay, we got a lot of debuffs out there. The nice thing about the set I put on, there is some potency in there, so we'll be able to see if we can finish off Wedge with this. Okay, good deal. Now, remember with troops, even if General Veers isn't necessarily on the front line, buffs can be a big deal. They can boost your turn meter. Shore Trooper isn't an option for us. Not the end of the world. We're still going to cast this ability and try to bring up some turn meter there on some of the key characters. So you can see that brought Veers to full. Now I'm not going to focus on Chewbacca yet. We'll go ahead and take out Rolo, and if we can. Yep, worked out okay. Now, the taunt with the Shore Trooper is still a health regenerator. Because I have Boff Block, I will not get a taunt here. But at least I can get some of his health back, and that will increase his survivability just a little bit longer. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, good to go. Now we're going to drop an AoE bomb, hopefully take out Chewbacca, maybe whittle down Han Solo and Commander Luke as well. Maybe Biggs. Okay, looks pretty good. And we got some staggers out there. Now, when you got staggers, that's an very important mechanic. When you have a stagger on the field with the enemy, you always look at which ones have the stagger and which ones have the highest turn meter. In this case, Han Solo, we're going to shoot him first. Pardon the pun. And now he's out. Now that he's out, we got another stagger up on Biggs. He does have dodge increased ability, which can add to his turn meter, so there's a risk here. But right now we're far enough along, I'm not too worried about it. I think we got this without any major considerations. Boom, he's dead. And now we can just lay down the hurt on Commander Luke Skywalker. Why not? The ability's available. Okay, so as you can see, despite the fact that the enemy team got to really open up, we still got the win, and it wasn't too difficult. And we got some good stuff from it. We got armor tech. That's something I have in plentiful supply, unfortunately. The Mark 8 Nubian design. Something I haven't really needed, but it's still something in the Gear 12 range. Possibly a good tanking arrow mod. And kind of a trash mod. So, 360k. Not a great haul, but not too bad. And that was the highest tier we're dealing with to do with Emperor's Demise. So that's pretty easy. Nothing much to worry about here. We'll go ahead and do the same thing in tier 1 because that's focusing specifically on rebel characters. So now, lots of team options available here. What I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do is plug some of the best characters you can have for any Rebel events, other than the Phoenix-related ones to do Thrawn. If you can get this lineup here, this is the one to go for. Obviously, it's got a whole lot of legendary characters. I mean, we've got Commander Luke Skywalker, which is a hero's journey, C-3PO, Chewbacca, R2, they're all legendary events, and Han Solo is, of course, from the Ranko raid. So we're going to go ahead and go in, and this should be more or less a walk in the park. I'm not too worried about this particular event. Get his little cinematic. Okay. Yeah, giving his commands to Lord Vader. Still get a little bit of a boost here as far as turns concerned. Not a big deal. We can take this team out really quite easily. Now, because Chewbacca is going to be shooting like a madman every time we need something done. He's going to add a little bit to the fire. Now, it used to be that Emperor Palpatine would one-shot your tunes when he hits you with his lightning. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore. It might be gearing factor. It might be something else. Not really sure. But as you can see, it doesn't take much to take out this event at the Tier 1 level. Extremely easy if you got the gear. I highly recommend keeping boosting that team. Didn't see what that mod does. It's not that big a deal. I'm not too worried about it. Now, Tier 2, you get your pick of the litter. So you can go ahead with your best team, bring it in there, hit them hardest, or you can hit them with any sorts of teams that you want to try. This is a good opportunity if you're out there just kind of curious to see how certain situations work in just a normal combat situation. I'm going to go ahead and just do Night Sisters just for yucks and see how that does. This is a good way if you're not sure how a certain faction would compete against another faction on offense, like for instance for Territory Wars or Grand Arena. This gives you a good chance to do that as well. So we're not completely killing it, but this event is pretty easy, so I'm not too concerned about the final outcome of this battle. Night Sisters, they're good in a lot of different roles. I'm just going to go ahead and just blow this away, give you an idea of how this works. All in all, as events go, this one is not the worst. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Not a lot of damage output when they do that initial run, and it's got some decent rewards. I mean, a lot of modding opportunities out there, and who knows, this potency mod may come to something, mostly in the tanking capacity, but if it gets some speed on there, it could be pretty good. It's hard to say. I mean, even this one with some speed on there could be pretty good. It'd just be more of a tanking type of mod. So I highly suggest you buff up your teams at least enough to do these events. Good source of some of the resources you'll need to be a top end game contender, and just keep working them. They're really not too bad when you put the time and effort into making your tunes ready for it. So that's all I have for this video. If you have any questions, please ask. If it's a big, complicated one, we'll maybe even do another video on it. If not, we'll just address it outright. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.